Cognitive dissonance is defined as the mental discomfort experienced when a person holds two conflicting beliefs, or when their actions don't align with their beliefs. So, for example, let's say little Johnny believes that cheating is wrong or unethical, right? He was taught that, he adopted it, whatever. He has a belief that cheating is wrong. But Johnny procrastinated and he forgot to study for the 8 a.m. test tomorrow. So what did he do? Johnny cheats, right? So when he goes to bed that night, Johnny feels guilty because he knew cheating was wrong and he still did it. This guilt or unease that he feels is because his past actions did not align with his pre-existing beliefs. So this lack of alignment or this lack of symmetry creates this feeling of tension and discomfort. It's an internal conflict, which we call cognitive dissonance. So what happens? Well, Johnny has two choices, right? He either A, keeps his belief and changes his behavior, right? So he reinforces the belief that cheating is wrong and cheating is bad, and he says, I'll never do that again. Or B, Johnny changes his belief to justify his past behavior. So he may say to himself, well, everyone else did it, or, I just needed a good grade to pass and it was just one time, or, the professor should stop making the test so hard. So cognitive dissonance theory essentially explains why we have this intrinsic need to remove the tension and discomfort that occurs when our actions don't align with our beliefs. But let's slow down for a second. Where did it come from? So the concept of cognitive dissonance was originally studied by Leon Festinger. He developed an interest in how people deal with inconsistencies between their beliefs and actions after he studied a doomsday cult in the 1950s. So this cult believed that the world was going to be destroyed. Some of the members even gave up their homes and jobs in support of the cult's ideology. I know. So, spoiler alert, the Earth wasn't destroyed in the 1950s. But what was fascinating is what happened to the members. What he observed was that less committed members were more likely to admit that they were wrong. But deeply committed, loyal members reinterpreted the results to fit their belief. They claimed that the world didn't end because of their faithfulness, which reinforced their original belief. So what Festinger's cognitive dissonance theory originally proposed was that we, as humans, want our attitudes and our actions to align with one another, a concept known as cognitive consistency. And when they don't align, aka cognitive dissonance, we feel discomfort, and we will usually try to relieve the tension by changing one of two things: A, our attitudes, or B, our behavior. Okay, wait, but how does it happen? Well, research suggests 6 main ways. 1, forced compliance behavior, which is essentially when someone is pressured to do something that challenges their true beliefs and emotions. Usually what happens is, since a certain behavior or action has already occurred and it cannot be changed, the individual will often reduce the dissonance by changing their beliefs on the behavior. So Johnny tells Jake to steal money. Jake doesn't feel like this is right, but he does it anyways because Johnny is in his ear and there's pressure, and regardless, he does it. After doing it, he isn't caught and he goes about his day. Over time, Jake may ease his internal guilt by removing the belief that he originally had that stealing is bad. Number 2, effort justification, which is when people put a lot of time, energy, and resources into something disappointing. For example, let's say we go out to eat at a restaurant and we pay a lot of money. Well, since we've paid so much money, we may walk out saying the food was amazing and out of this world, even though it may not have been. Because if we paid a lot of money and the food was terrible, some of us may feel like we just wasted money. So our brains may change the association to favor the restaurant despite the food being unsatisfying. And I'll give you a little side note. This is one reason why name brand companies will charge high prices for a designer purse. When you pay thousands of dollars for a name brand purse, your brain cannot say, why did we spend money on this? Because you're probably going to feel terrible. So usually what will happen is you will say, well, it was so worth it because I use it all the time. And remember, it's not just any purse, right? It's Gucci or it's Louis Vuitton. So the pattern with cognitive dissonance is that the brain craves symmetry, and it will do anything in its power to obtain that symmetry, right? It needs alignment between what we believe, what we think, and what we do. Number 3, decision making. Having to choose between two good options creates dissonance because there are pros and cons to each one. After choosing, what usually happens is people feel weird about losing the benefits of the option they didn't choose. What most people will tend to do is focus on the positives of the option they chose, downplay the negatives, thus helping them feel confident and secure with their decision, even if it was the wrong one. Number 4, contradictory beliefs. So 2 beliefs that directly counter one another, believing in loyalty or believing in polygamy, which is where one person has multiple spouses. That's going to create tension, right? Both beliefs cannot exist at the same time. They clash. So number 5, if our behavior counters our morals and our values, we will experience dissonance. We will experience discomfort and tension. So, for example, if someone values loyalty and they cheat on their spouse, there's going to be some tension. Number 6 is new information. If new facts and data challenge our pre-existing beliefs, we experience cognitive dissonance. Either A, we deny the facts and hold our existing beliefs, or B, we accept the new facts and we change our beliefs. That's cognitive dissonance 101. From a 201 or performance psychology perspective, it's important to understand how rationalizations can skew our judgment in high-pressure situations. So imagine a business owner who, ironically enough, carries a belief that money is the root of all evil. Now imagine they wake up every morning to run a business. It's not hard to imagine how this internal conflict will create tension and discomfort psychologically. Take another scenario. Imagine a professional basketball player who carries a belief that failure is for the weak. Now imagine they missed their first few shots in the game. Unless they change that belief to something more psychologically empowering or resilient, their actions are going to stem from a place of fear. Now, if they were able to alter their belief into failure is temporary, how much more mentally resilient would you expect the player to be? So what we are seeing here is that our beliefs and our behavior collaborate with one another to determine our cognitive, behavioral, and executive capabilities. Our decision-making, problem-solving, and intellectual skill sets are all derived from the psychological perspective and physiological state we allow ourselves to possess in a given moment. Cognitive dissonance is just one theory that examines the misalignment of beliefs and behavior. The main point here is simple. If you operate in high-pressure environments where optimal performance is a requirement, then you have to start learning how to influence your own beliefs. As you can imagine, one ineffective belief can do damage. Now imagine 100. The scale of our psychology is larger than anyone of this current time period can comprehend. We don't understand the brain to its fullest capacity yet, but what we do know is that allowing the subconscious brain to automatically adopt and construct our belief systems without active intervention is essentially similar to letting go of the steering wheel while on the road. And the thing is, if you operate in these environments, no one cares about anything other than results. This is why the top executives, entrepreneurs, athletes, and creatives pour immense time and energy into conditioning an optimal psychological state of functioning. By selectively constructing a winner's belief system, you can increase the chances of inducing winning behavior. If you are an executive, creative, or performer who operates in a high-stress environment daily, and performance psychology tactics and research interest you, check out our newsletter, Outlier OS, at gpaenterprises.com. So that's cognitive dissonance theory in a nutshell. Again, to summarize, there's only 4 ways that we can reduce the tension. 1, we can change our behavior. Hard to do. 2, we can rationalize our behavior. We can create explanations or excuses to justify why we behave that way, usually blaming situations, circumstances, or people. Number 3, justify using carefully selected data. This is when we find information that supports our argument and denies others, essentially biased research or biased questions. The 4th way is to change the beliefs, attitudes, values, and even morals that guide our basic decision-making processes. Let me know in the comments what you think about this theory. It's definitely fascinating and explores the weird connection between cognition and human behavior. There's so much we don't understand about the brain, but on this channel, we'll try to understand it one video at a time. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.